All right, for our next use case here, we're going to walk through how do we send, maybe 100 emails today to contacts that we have in our contact list. So this is getting out of the realm where we can actually, well, we'll say we'd like to type out 100 unique emails. So maybe we've got a spreadsheet somewhere with names, last names, emails, maybe some additional metadata, maybe from our website that we've collected about our customers or users or whoever they might be. Um, this is a great opportunity to introduce a marketing automation tool. And there's a whole bunch of great ones of these out there. If you look them up, just Google marketing automation tooling, you'll see a whole bunch of examples. Two that I like that are really simple to work with, especially kind of at this cardinality, are GMass and Apollo. And I would say even on the easier side, GMass, and it's super cheap. It's something like $30 a month. If you're only sending to a couple hundred a couple hundred contacts per day, this is maybe one that I'd probably recommend. Again, something to keep in mind, this does GMass, you might have kind of picked up on it, only integrates in with G Suite. So if you're on Outlook or something else like that, this isn't necessarily the tool for you. Important thing to keep in here. So what this is going to allow you to do, and kind of touching back on that first sort of session that we had, it's going to allow you to keep personalization while sending at a larger scale. So from that spreadsheet, you're able to integrate that directly into GMass and inject columns from your Google Sheet into an email. So things like first name, right? When we're talking about personalizing name, or body content that's personalized to an individual, or maybe a purchase order, maybe you're sending a reminder based on a purchased order or event. Those are all things that you can inject directly into this email. And it's just going to show up as kind of like normal plain text. It's going to look like a normal email when it's coming into the inbox provider. So when it's going outbound and it's interpreted by Google or Outlook or Proofpoint or whoever it may be, it's just looking like a normal personalized email. So really great tools. I highly recommend it. Would definitely check out GMass. I've got a couple of my example campaigns up that we can take a look at. They do some nice additional things here. You can track number of recipients that you're sending to. You can track open rates. You can track click rates, unsubscriptions, some additional things that you can do here as well. One thing to keep in mind, this is just kind of maybe a pro tip here. Don't always trust stats that you're getting on open rates and click-through rates. A bunch of inbox providers, especially Proofpoint and even firewalls that more or less, if you're sending like corporate recipients, they're going to have protections in place that might auto open and click on your links. So don't take that as set in stone when you're seeing, 80% open rates and 30% click-through rates. Maybe something, larger is at play there. It's always good to have a metric that's more down the funnel that you can totally rely on. So that's something important to keep in mind. Another really useful feature that these tools are going to start to allow you to do is sending more drip campaign related content. So follow-ups, again, at the end of the day, we're trying to get this individual to engage with our email, engage with our content. And that's when follow-ups become really important. At Emporia, we just send two. We're not trying to be too aggressive with how much we follow up with individuals. But I know folks in my network that sometimes send 5, 6, 7 follow-up emails, and they say they get people to convert that far down the drip. So you got to find a cadence that works for you, works for your customer, but at least sending an initial email and a follow-up usually helpful in terms of this automation tooling in these drip campaigns. Another tool that I really like, it's called Apollo. I'll just quickly show it here. Both of these tools I'm not going to dive deep into. You can check out the documentation if you're interested. A good thing about Apollo is it kind of acts as like a CRM as well. And they have some, we'll call it more like sales enablement tools built into it as well. So if you're trying to do things like look up new customers, hydrate email records, stuff like that, that's where Apollo becomes really helpful. It's essentially also a data broker on top of being an email marketing automation tool. That said, if you're looking to just do basic drip campaigns as well, like really, really easy to use tool, it's really competitively priced. Another useful thing that these tools are going to give you access to is if you install these plugins directly here, you're going to get a little widget within your email that's going to show you whether or not your recipients are opening your email. So even if you're, sending it personalized, like a one-off email from your inbox directly to a recipient, or you're sending it using this automation tooling, this pixel is now going to be associated with your inbox, and you're going to be able to track all of your emails, whether or not they're being opened, whether or not folks are clicking on them, what time they're opening it, how many times they're opening it, really directly through your inbox. So that's a really useful feature. I know we said don't fully trust it, and I stand by that. Don't fully trust it, but it is a signal. It's useful to know, and definitely another useful side effect of some of these tools. Yeah, and just to show this feature really quickly, this is actually something that we have access to because we have an integration with Mixmax into our inbox. But you get this nice little feature here where you can actually check when an individual is opening your email, how often they're opening it, devices that they're opening it on, etc. And again, that's happening for some of these cases. I know if you're integrated with Apollo, it happens either whether the email was sent in an automated fashion or from you through directly interacting with the inbox client. But yeah, super useful feature for tracking engagement with your emails. And just to highlight this example directly, you can see here, looking at, this is our send stats for the week. You can see our click rate was 34%, which would be incredibly high for a marketing automation email. So at just surface level, we're probably not totally trusting that click rate as a true engagement, and it's probably being done by an inbox provider. But to even further highlight that example, if we look at it, this change from the previous month, and I just know, just looking at these statistics, over the past year, they're always in this sort of 20% range. So we're well beyond the standard deviation, outside the norm here. Something is going on with our click rates in terms of engagement, and it probably just means that we're sending to a high volume of these sort of like proof point inbox providers that have a lot of this automated link checking in place.